Lee, it's Monday.
No, it's not, it's Tuesday.
Is it? You were waiting for me to do that, weren't you? Goodness sake. Yeah, it was Bank Holiday Monday yesterday, that apparently I forgot about. Yeah, we've just done sprint planning. It's going to be quite a boring week. What you doing? What you doing, Lee? It's not going to be a boring week. It's going to be exciting and fun, isn't it?
Exciting week, yeah. Now, on the YouTube video, making a spot on that. That's today's task, but the rest of the week is just going to be more level building for Inventor, the new DLC.
Inventor, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we released the last hexceed DLC on Friday, so straight back to work on the next one.
Yeah, so on top of the current DLC, so now it's just next hexceed one. Yeah, it should be alright. Interesting.
Yeah, and as for me, I'm going to be continuing on getting these Switch store pages set up and ready for approval. There's only 2 regions to do. I'm dreading it. We just got some. We got an email back from Nintendo again, testing the hexceed build. I don't know what that's about, but hopefully it won't be a big issue. Hopefully we won't have to resubmit again, but I'll have a look in fixing that as well. Yeah, so I quickly had a look at the pushback that we got from Nintendo over the weekend to do the build. So basically the problem was with the DLCs. So I'd uploaded one of the DLCs, just Stellar, but I hadn't sent it off for submission, so they couldn't actually see it on their end. So I've done that now, fixed that. There were some config issues as well, which I've fixed. Fortunately, it looks like we can only submit one DLC at a time, so we've got 12 to do, so that might take a while. We're hoping to have 5 DLCs available for launch, so that's the 5 that are currently out now. Maybe the 6th, which Lee will be starting on this week, but I'm a bit worried that this process is going to take a long time to get approved. But we'll see. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll just fly through it. But yeah, anyway, I started work on the store page stuff, trying to do the next region. So the next region was Hong Kong, I believe, but kind of run into a bit of an issue. So it turns out that Hong Kong use their native language they use for written stuff is traditional Chinese. We don't have the translation for that. We thought that, I say we, it was me. I thought that the language they use is simplified Chinese, but no, they use traditional, which is a whole other alphabet apparently. So it looks like we're not going to be able to publish in Hong Kong, which I suppose is fine. Not ideal, but the population is only about 7.5 million people, so that's like 1.5 Scotland's. We'll be alright. We'll be alright leaving that be. We still got China left to do, but I'm just gonna skip Hong Kong now altogether and move on to the next region, which is Americas. So that's all of the Americas, not just the US. It involves Brazil and Canada and things like that as well. Okay, so we got another quick error message from Nintendo, basically just describing how they would expect the controllers to work. So the controller configurations all work as intended, but if you're in between them, so like if I remove this Joy-Con, basically it wouldn't work. It would still think that it's part of the handheld, but it wasn't connected. So now I've just wrote a quick change that means that whenever you do that, this little screen pops up and then it basically prompts you to connect. So if you press the 2 buttons like that, it'll pop up saying it detected that this controller should be used, and then you press OK, and then this controller works as expected. Just a small change, but it's another little thing that makes it feel a bit more like a Switch game.
Wednesday, which means you've got the radio ready, got the speaker ready. It's Music Wednesday. You'll notice, quite obviously there's no Rob here today. He's cold and sick. Hopefully he's feeling better soon. But he's just going to take the day off, which is the best thing to do when you're not well. But yeah, in terms of my plans for today, for the first time in a long time, the vlog has spread over to the second day. That's because I was trying out a new sort of technique, sort of to make the words go behind my head instead of in front of my face. And I just ate up a lot of time. So I ended up finishing at 6 o'clock last night, and the video isn't even done. So I'm going to be finishing that first thing today, but it shouldn't take too long. It's just the music and the audio levels that need correcting. And then after that, I'll put the music back on and we'll be going on with the level designing, making as many levels as we can for the new DLC for hexceed. So it's 11:30 now. I'm pretty much done with the first pass of the video. You see the audio is now showing there on the bottom. Music's been balanced, and hopefully audio levels are alright throughout, but once Rob checks it, I'll give us some feedback, I'm sure. I just want to quickly show you what I meant regarding the new sort of editing idea I was trying. You can see there, because the words normally be crossing over my face, it'd be quite unappealing to watch. So I'm trying this new technique with masking. So I've essentially drawn a mask around myself on the layer where the text is, and essentially try to keep that in line with me as I move, so the words end up sort of flowing behind me. But you can see some places it is sort of crossing over. The reason for that is it just got way too time consuming. Because the text ends up on a different layer to the actual footage, you can't use smart masking to make the software track movements automatically, because with masking, stuff like blurring, you might have seen this in the footage if I had blur information out. If it's on the same layer as the footage, the software has the ability to actually track the movement. So when I blurred out my screen and stuff, it keeps the square in line with the monitor as the camera moves. But again, with the text being on a separate layer to the footage, that's not possible. So the only way to sort of keep it perfect would be go through frame by frame and keep lining up every single frame. But that was taking literally hours to do. So I've went for sort of an ad hoc sort of method of every few frames, just lining it back up and hoping that the animation effects keep it in line. So it works well quite a lot. As you go through, you see sometimes it does clip out and sometimes you get a bit of a halo effect, but most of the time it works alright, and hopefully Rob thinks it's okay, and hopefully you guys like it as well. It's just a way to make it less messy with this footage, having the text going over the face and stuff. It gets a bit cramped when we do the end of the day recaps, and we've done quite a lot through the week. It could be better. Hopefully I'll find a different method of doing it, because again, all my editing techniques are sort of taught by learning on this job. So maybe there's a better way of doing it than what I've used. And if anyone's got any suggestions, or if I find that out, then hopefully this will become more frequent in the future and it'll just be a bit better. But yeah, hopefully that works well, and I'm going to move on to some of the smaller tasks I forgot about doing as well. One of the things Rob was suggesting last week is the year 1 pass pitch for Hexceed. We can update it with the hyperlinks to the actual DLC that's released, and I've also suggested we can actually put the mechanic names on it so people know what they're buying if they want to buy the year 1 pass. So yeah, it's just after lunch now. I've made the small changes to the year 1 page, as I said. So that's literally just putting in the name of the new mechanics and, more importantly, making these all links. I do need to go through and do this for all the languages, because I haven't quite done that yet, but that's just essentially the change that we're doing. So every time we get a new DLC page out, I'm going to remember to come in here and update these as well for the next 5 that's left there, 5 or 6. And yeah, once I'm done with all this, I'm going to be going on to level designing and making some more levels for the new DLC. Yeah, it's come to 5 o'clock now. I've been calling it here. It's a little bit early, but not getting that much done. I've finished up all the YouTube video stuff. Rob gave it a little watch on his day off. Very grateful for that. A few edits, took out the whole masking thing I showed earlier. It was just a bit distracting. And yeah, I've made some more levels as well. So I've got about 6 more done, and I've already put in the world. And yeah, we're alright, and hopefully get a lot more done tomorrow. Morning, Rob!
Morning, Lee.
You're back?
I'm back.
Feeling better?
Yeah. I'll need some paracetamol. Yeah, we've just done stand-up as usual.
Yeah.
Basically, today I'm going to be fixing Nintendo stuff because we've got more errors sent back to us. One of them's to do. What was it called?
Inadequate Japanese translations.
Inadequate Japanese translations. But basically, the store page button was translated to save page because instead of storing something, it was saving something. Anyway, so I need to fix that. We got like 3 emails about that, so thanks. There's another thing I need to do to sort out to fix it as well, but we haven't failed technically yet, so
yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's still good. Yeah, apart from that, I'm actually going to be working on a new mechanic for hexceed later. So basically, I just want a break from the stock page stuff because it's doing my head. Yeah, so I'm going to try and make some new mechanics for the
future
DLCs. What are you doing, Lee, anyway?
Yeah, but for me, I've done all the small tasks that were set for the week. Just going to be levels all day, get as many as I can. We've got about a 5th done, I think, so shouldn't be too bad. But if I get as many done this week, then I'll be just left to do next week. Be good.
Okay, so I've just quickly fixed all of the issues Nintendo had with the Switch build. Small stuff again, just basically updating this one field here so that it actually makes sense in Japanese. done another build, but I'm still going to wait until they've failed the lot check submission before re-uploading, just in case they come up with anything else. Yeah, we just wanted to go through once smoothly. So fingers crossed that'll be soon though. But in the meantime, I'm going to be working on some new hexceed mechanics. So basically what we are going to try and do is, so that this is the year pass, we've committed to doing 4 new mechanics. So we've done rotating tiles, we've done big tiles. But what we're thinking about doing for the next one, which is supposed to be for August, we're going to try and do, instead of doing one big mechanic like we've done for the last 2, we're going to try and do 2 smaller ones. So we're going to instead have a new mechanic for July and a new one for September. So we're just basically going to split this one up. And that's just because there's some smaller mechanic tiles that we want to add, and it should be easier for us to add, and we want it in the game sooner rather than later. So we're going to sort of spread out the load. Hopefully people like that, because they're getting more than what we promised. But yeah, what we're thinking of doing is this. So we've got 2 new tiles that I'm going to be working on. The first one is the ring tile. So this is very similar to the radius, only the radius has these tiles included in the middle. This one doesn't. So it's sort of like there's a gap, and then you've got this ring of tiles that it cares about. Should be quite interesting, because one of the things we found, well, one of the things that Lee's found when he's made levels, it's all about the information game. So you need to provide information with these mechanics as well as take it away. So removing the information about these tiles here should make this tile a lot more interesting. And just same as with this other mechanic as well that we're going to try and do, this one, I don't know what we're going to call it, triangle, triforce. Yeah, so similar idea here. So we've got this, I'm not exactly sure how I might do this. Might make it toggleable for like each direction, we don't know yet. So the thing with this type of mechanic is it reaches further than any other mechanic, which is going to be really nice. And the amount of information that it's actually providing is only the same as a radius mechanic anyway. It might look like it's a lot more, but if you count the tiles up, it's only providing 18 tiles of information. So we're going to give that a go.
It's just after lunch, and you can see I've done the first of the 5 islands of this new world. I don't think I went over sort of the layout of this one yet. What we're doing is, Bob's suggestion is 5 separate islands, each with their own start tile and a milestone at the end of it, which means theoretically you can come in here and you can do it in any order you want. I'm still going to go along the lines of making the last one on the list the finale, so this will be the largest level. But if you want to, you can start here and work your way up to that first. It's perfectly fine. But that's just a way to change it up, and the level count we're sticking with 110, for the fact that having done the islands before, I'm just going to keep it consistent throughout. But if it works well, maybe we'll use it again in future DLC.
Okay, so I've just been putting those 2 new mechanics in. I think it seems to be all working properly. It was quite easy because we've already got scripts that sort of add rings. So the way that radiuses are calculated is we've got the script that calculates like the number of bombs in a ring, and then it just does 2 rings. So it does this inner ring and then the outer ring. So it's very, very similar code. You just do the 1 outer ring, and that's that mechanic added. Similar for this, the triangles mechanic. We've got a bit of code that does triangles. We use it for the cone mainly, but all you have to do is just tell it to offset the start position to here, and then it just does a triangle, slightly smaller than the cone one here. And yeah, that seems to be working fine. Not happy with the art for it at the moment, but it seems to be working fine. So I was hoping that would take longer, to be honest. Hey, okay, so I've done another pass on this art. It's looking much better now. We kind of wanted to have this sort of triangle that you could see in the negative space, so it looks like one big triangle, even though it's just the corners. We quite like it, just to sort of indicate that this bit isn't covered. Really happy with how that's turned out. We've got some more as well. Yeah, so that's facing the other 4 corners as well. And the way it works is you can't have them next to each other, but you can have them in this configuration or opposite each other. So exactly the same way as the cones, really. So you can have that as well in the various rotations of that. I still haven't updated the ring asset, but I think all that's going to need is a slight colour change, really, because we want it to be intuitive that it's similar to the radius but without the second ring. So yeah, pretty much there. Not bad. Not bad, Lee. You right, Lee?
Pretty good.
Lee, it's Friday! Woo!
You alright? Got the Friday energy?
I do. Pub Friday's back.
Oh, Pub Friday. Yeah, it's good. The restrictions in the UK lifted a few weeks ago. So we're going to the pub on a Friday, like we used to, for like 3 weeks when we started. Anyway, what are you doing today?
Yeah, so it's Friday, so the YouTube video's going live in about an hour. Other than that, it's just been more levels all day. Just get as much of it in as I can. Just to get a head start for next week.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, for me today, I'm going to finish off the mechanics that I was working on yesterday. Just small art changes really, and double check the work of the auto tester. Yeah, after that, there's a couple of bugs that people have been reporting. I'm going to work on those. I think they're quite small things though, so hopefully I'll have time in the afternoon to add some new features to hexceed that people have been suggesting, like dark mode, or there's like a weird, there's another thing that I wanted to look at. I forgot what it's called. Maybe the other thing.
Yeah, so fixed a couple of bugs, but the biggest thing I've done today is added dark mode. Woo! Click this. Everything goes a bit darker. Change the background to like a black grey thing. One more you need. But it's something that people have been requesting for a long time. So yeah.
It's 3 o'clock now. Just a little update where I've got to. This is the second milestone. Just finished making it. Rob had the idea of making it the shape of the bomb. That's the icon that we use for the bomb on the danger tiles. Obviously off to an angle due to the way the hexagons are oriented, but it works quite well and the level works. So now it's just a case of putting that into the actual world, and that'll be the second island completely done as well. So that's decent progress for today so far.
Yeah,
the weekend.
It's the weekend. Pub Friday.
Pub Friday.
That's it. It's got a pub soon. Bye. It's been a good week, I think. I don't know. Has it?
Yeah, it's been busy.
It's been busy. You've been. What have you been doing?
Yeah, so a couple of small marketing tasks. I think it was like some of the eShop things that were done for the new DLC at the beginning of the week, along with the update to the Year Pass store page on Steam. But they're just minor changes. The rest of the week just been level loading. So that's the progress list so far.
About halfway.
Pretty decent, yeah. What about you?
This week I've been a bit all over the place. So most of it's just been battling with the Switch submission. So I managed to finish off most of the store pages. It was a lot easier when we didn't have to do one region. We failed the submission again today, but we've also hit up against a bit of a wall. So we need to get special approval from the Nintendo business team to release a free-to-play game on Switch, and we can't submit any more builds until we've basically got that approval. So I've sent some emails off and a couple of messages just to try and get that sort of moving. But other than that, 2 new hexceed mechanics, dark mode.
Yeah.
That'll do.
So as this video comes out, it'll be the Illusions DLC. That'll be getting released on the same day, so check that out. Link will be in the description. It's been quite ahead of schedule with the Illusions DLC. It was done a couple of weeks back, which means next week we might be doing a bit something different. Might take a break from hexceed and color pixels.
Yes, yeah. So we both sort of felt a bit repetitive, yeah. We're sort of going into this like loop where you're building levels, doing the Color Pixels DLC, just like that over and over again. And I've just been stuck on Switch stuff. Well, and before that was localization, just forever. So next week we're going to have a bit of a different week. We're not going to be working on hexceed or Color Pixels at all. So look forward to that. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. But yeah, thanks for people in day. What was it? Thank you to all the people in daycare. Discord is what I was trying to say. Thanks to all the people in Discord. They've been looking at all the gifts and been talking stuff. There's been a lot of chat today. This seems like Friday's popular, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess small talkative. Been quite good. People talking about different Color Pixels packs and getting help on hexceed. It's good.
Yeah, good stuff. Anyone else we want to thank, Lee?
The Patreons, obviously.
Yeah, always thank you to the Patreons. They're keeping us going.
And
Just.
check out the merch that Rob's wearing.
Yeah, and you.
Oh yeah.
Coincidence. Good stuff. But pub.
Pub.
Pub. Pub.